What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight... Okay, we're coming back to the Mars Volta. Yes, indeed. The Mars Volta fans? Feeling? Yo, come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to do all the clicks and the likes and the bibbidi-boobidi-bob, do me a favor. Before you do all that clicking, please watch the entire video first, okay? Give me a chance to earn those clicks and those likes. Now, after you watch the video, if you still feel like doing all the clicks and the likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This is a request from Klaus Bremner and Atlas Hugged. They both want to see me react to this song by the Mars Volta. I hope I pronounced this name right. Called La Via La Viaquez. Now, have I heard the song before? No. To the best of my knowledge, I have not heard the song before. This does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, I recognize this song, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This was posted by Prophet of the Moons, okay? And the video has 847,534 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. The Mars Volta. I hope I pronounced that right. La Via La Viaquez. Or La Via La Viaquez. Might be French. I don't know. Anyway, all right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Feels like we're gonna go into a feel change. Maybe even a flat out tempo change as well. Feels good. Song feels good. It's got a nice feel to it, got good energy to it. I don't really pay attention to lyrics anyway, but I can't help but notice it sounds like they're singing in Spanish, which makes it even more impossible for me to interpret lyrics. Which is fine. Look, I'm not a lyric guy, so it doesn't really matter what language they're singing. I mean, the song overall, it's appealing. I can see the appeal for the song. I don't know about commercial appeal. I don't know if I would ever call this song commercially appealing, but I can hear how people who are fans of the Mars Volta could attach themselves to this song. The vocals are nice, actually. I love those harmonies. Ba-da-da. It's really good, man. I like the placement of the harmony. And I like how they're keeping it to pretty much just that one thing. It's repetitive, yes, but it's not repetitive within the whole entire song. It doesn't sound the same through the entire verse, or through all of the verses. Even though they are repeating it, because you have those harmonies in there, it makes it sound different from the rest of the verse. You know what I mean? So, repetitive, yes, but it doesn't feel repetitive, if that makes sense. Makes sense to me. Anyway, it feels like we're doing a feel change and a tempo change, so let's see what's going to happen here.
As it made the best mistakes, and with everybody that I find, and with every claymore that they mine, I won't forget who I'm looking for. Oh, mother, help me, I'm looking for.
Okay, I was wondering if they were going to go back. And I started seeing the pattern repeat from the first time through, and I was like, I wonder if they're going to go back in. And sure enough, it looks like they are. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. It keeps the song from sounding too redundant, which is fine, especially with a long song. Like, this song is over 9 minutes long. The more you can do to give the song some variety, the better. Even if it's doing, seriously, even if it's taking 2 parts or 3 parts and repeating those 3, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 1, part 2, part 3. Even if you do that, it helps. It definitely helps. Now, if you could add even more parts to it, it'll make it even fresher. It'll keep things from sounding even less redundant. But at least they're having these 3 individual parts. And that's a big help. It really is. It's keeping me from getting bored and falling asleep. So kudos to it. Let's keep going here.
guilty as it made the best mistakes. And with everybody that I find, and with every claymore that they mine, I won't forget who I'm looking for. Oh, mother, help me, I'm looking for.
Okay, one thing I wanted to point out right there, toward the end of that section, we heard some backmasking being done. Now, I did a reaction to a song from John Frusciante, and I forgot what the name of the song was, Dark Kingdom, Dark Heaven, or something like that. And I tore that song to shreds. I absolutely tore that song to shreds. And one of my biggest gripes was they overused backmasking. And they made it used for way too long, and way too forward in the mix. So it took over. It absolutely took over, and that was one of the contributing factors to that song being torn to shreds. Now they're using backmasking, but they're not using it anywhere near as strongly. It's not so forward in the mix that it's destroying everything that it's trying to backmask. And most importantly, it didn't go on for too long. It was like 15, 20 seconds tops. I got no problem with that. I said it during this. I said this during the John Frusciante reaction I did. I got no problem with backmasking. I like backmasking. I think it's a wonderful effect. And it can be very effective when it's used properly. But when it's overly used and it's used way too much, way too often, way too long, way too strongly, like it was there, it can destroy a song. It really can. These guys, Mars Volta, used it properly. And I'm here for that. I'm here for it all day long. I just wanted to point out that I don't hate backmasking. I like backmasking. It's one of my favorite effects for using mixing and engineering. But at the same time, it's got to be used tastefully. These guys did it tastefully. So good on them. Let's keep going here.
Solo tengo una hora y me duermo terminado. Por 25 años pasaron, siguen los cuerpos aquí temblando.
Subtle differences are nice. Can we go back out again? Yeah. Okay.
Black mountain fell off every mountain. The ones they tied, they're wrapped in tight. Erase the shame of guilty as it made the best mistakes.
Some overused.
Short guys got tangled in the molten steel. Urgent plea of escape. Oh, melts the mouth on the chalkboard. Written in fingered eldest taste. As with everybody.
See, they got rid of it. that tremolo effect, I was starting to get a little worried, if I'm being honest here. I was like, okay, it's gone on for a while now. They need to end it. And they did. They did. So, not bad. Not bad. I do feel like it was a little strong. But it wasn't unpleasant. It wasn't like, oh, that's cringy. Ah, it hurts. Nah, it wasn't that. It was noticeably strong, though. Will that affect the score? I don't think so. I think it'll be okay. But, again, a variation, though. They didn't go back to the backmasking. You know, it didn't just rely on that one-trick pony. They're bringing a lot of different effects in and using them. And they're using them in appropriate ways. And you gotta respect that. You absolutely have to respect that. Let's finish this out, and we'll get to the review.
I find, and with every claim or that they mine, I'm looking for.
Very sudden ending. Very abrupt sudden ending. I don't know. I kind of feel like it left us hanging a little bit. I don't know. It's a lot to take in. There's a lot to take in. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was the Mars Volta with, I hope I pronounced this right, La Via La Viaquez. This was a request from Klaus Bremner and Atlas Hugged. I have a score here, and the score might surprise some people, but I don't know. I don't think too many people are going to be surprised by the score I give. I think the score pretty much speaks for itself, but I'll give some explanation as to why. Trust me, you know me. I always do that. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that an 8.2. Yep, 8.2. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay. It's a great song. It is. Is this up my wheelhouse? No. Is this my cup of tea? No. Will I ever listen to this song again? Probably not. Not by choice. Look, the song is long, okay? It is definitely a long song, and to some extent, the song is repetitive, okay? It is, all right? But within that repetition, there are some hidden gems, and if you can look into the repetition, you'll find those little differences, and it makes it not as repetitive. This song was based around 2 parts, okay? Let's call a spade here. You had the part that was driving, pulsing, fast-paced, energetic, and then you had the slower part with more of the Latin feel to it, okay? Now, taking those 2 parts and building a 9-minute long song, there are many speed bumps to overcome. The biggest speed bump, of course, being repetition. You're going to build a 9-minute song out of 2 parts. It's going to be repetitive. There's just no way around it, okay? Now, within that repetition, though, there were subtle differences. In particular, the slower more of a Latin feel type of part of the song. So, in one part, you had backmasking as an effect. In another part, you had a very high tremolo being used. Their effects usage, it walked the line, man. It really did. It walked that razor's edge of, you know, not enough and too much. You know, it walked that fine line. If they had used any more, I would have found it to be a bit of a turnoff, but luckily they didn't, and they kept it just, like I said, walking that razor's edge. So I got no issue with it, and I'm glad they brought the different effects in. I'm glad they had those small little variants to make the repetitive parts not so repetitive. So songwriting and arranging were really well done. I mean, they did a great job. They did a great job. I gotta give it to them on that. Musicianship sounded really good. I dug it. I did dig it. The guitar playing in particular, very nice. I also enjoyed the drumming. The drumming, especially on that, once again, going back to that slower part, having that, establishing that Latin feel. Really nice. Really, really nice. The first time I heard it, it kind of threw me for a loop, and I started wondering, is this in some weird, odd time signature? Because this doesn't feel like 4/4, but I had to lock in with the vocals. I usually lock in with the kick and the snare, but the kick and the snare were being used in conjunction with some of the tom work and the cymbal work to give it that offbeat feel, and that it didn't feel like 4/4 because the subdivisions were so oddly placed. But you locked in with the vocals, and it's 4/4 without question. So it was really cool. It was really well done. Gotta give a lot of respect to the drummer on that. I didn't really hear bass. I don't even know if bass was even being used in this, because there were parts where everything kind of hollowed out, and I was looking for the bass, and I couldn't really hear it. So I don't even know if bass was even used. It may not have been, which is fine. You know, you have piano in there to cover the, you know, the left hand will cover the lower parts. That's fine. Vocally, this is the other thing that kind of sold me. The vocals were nicely done. Not overly over the top. Not to the point where it got hard to listen to. Although I will say there were times, like very much like the effects usage, it walked that fine razor's edge, man, where there were a couple of points where I was about to go cringe, and I was about to go, but they didn't. They never crossed the line. They walked right up to it, looked at it, and then stepped back. And I was like, oh, thank God. In particular, I like the harmonies. I know that sounds like it's a small part. It is a small part, but here's the thing. For me personally, those harmonies were the hook. Like out of that whole 9-minute long song, those harmonies, as brief as they were, that's the most memorable part of the song for me personally. So I dug them. Listen, is the song ever going to end up on a playlist of mine? No, absolutely not. Will I ever listen to this again? Like I said, not by choice. You know, if someone puts it on and I happen to be in the same room, I won't leave the room. I'll sit there and I'll listen to it, and it won't be torturous, okay? I'm just not going to sit there and go, oh my God, this is my favorite song. No, it's not. No, it's not. But it's a really, it really is a great job. It's a great song. There's no denying it. So that's how I'm coming up with the 8.2. So 8.2, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hopefully you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.